All right, y'all, let's get into Don, Ron, and Elon real quick. The three musketeers, and connect some light together for us on this, okay? And RFK is going to be joining in on this too. They're going to be kind of doing a triple play effect with the fourth beast. And that X logo that Elon came out with is the 24. It's Lights, Camera, X Sun. That 24 has started. It's come early. So the 24 is a twin cross 4 for the fourth beast that's coming for the Iron and Clay Empire. That Empire, the EMP, but that Clay and Iron, the Iron going against the Clay. The Clay is the believers, but as the believers have been blinded by the light of this world, the believers, the Judeo-Christian church, who's the synagogue of Satan, they're actually going to be chasing after Satan, lifting him up. And that's why his name is the Day Satan in Florida, cast down to the ground. All right. And then he has his firebrand for the hell breaking open, and the mat gates for the gates of hell opening up, and those things, folks. But as the church lifts the serpent, as Paul did, as Moses did, they're going to lift the serpent. And he's down there with the serpents, the pythons, and the Eve, and the Everglades. So as the fourth beast is coming, the Leviathan, that dragon, that water dragon, he's got teeth of iron, that teat of iron. That milk's going out right now, and that tea for the Putin, and that live golf session that Trump started. All these things are going to tell us the stories. So Trump's that central father figure. He came in. He's the capstone and the cornerstone. He's taking out the old and he's setting up the new. So that Truth Social, that's part of the worshiping the Lord in truth. Adon means the Lord. That's that image that's given life in his image. So it's given in the image of truth, and make America great again, and those types of things that you can go on there and buy and sell. And buying and selling is believing something and repeating it. So these people that they're sounding the sounds of freedom, right? They're just propagating, and they're actually going to be working in TV and movies at the same time as news and events and entertainment and such, and it's going to collide into a world to where it's going to cause the mass delusion, because the people can't distinguish what they're watching on TV from real life, okay? Because they're not sitting down and thinking about what they're watching. They're just in the American dream, sleeping in the alpha state. The alpha state. Y'all are all in the alpha state thinking y'all are all God when you're all just sons of man, okay? That's why, man, y'all, just one thing after another. So this fourth beast is dividing up. So he's not seen as easily, okay? Because the church is looking for certain things. They're looking for things in Israel that's never going to happen. Looking for things in Judea that's never going to happen, because this is Judea. We're the mystery Babylon. We're the Israel. Ra is God. That comes from Egyptians. That comes from the old original sun worship. Okay, so they're worshiping the sun, Israel. They're worshiping the false sun. They're worshiping the second son, Adam. All right, so the fourth beast is coming, and he's divided up. And the X app is that app that can do all things, all right? And so as this X app can do all things, I'm sure that the people, I told y'all they're going to run to the Apron because they've been bitten by the serpent, and they took the forbidden fruit after the pit was open. The pit was brought through Obama with Obamacare, and then the Abaddon, he opened the pit, and then the forbidden fruit, he had you worship his mark kind of thing. But the mark was already in the hand before they closed down the world. That's why they could close down the world. It was a live simulation to see what the sheep and beasts would do, and to kind of give that light, that 2020 vision, to let people know, like, when that world shut down, they said the pandemic, I said immediately, This is it. This is it. I knew. So, why? Because I chose to climb up on the watchtower when I was 14 years old in 1991 when the first web page came out. All right? And I been putting together things ever since. And I've been praying for the knowledge ever since. So, we're right here. And you are in the final phase. And America's tribulation has been going on since the year 2000, and you're in those final phases to where it's going to be drifting over to the middle of the nation and to the eastern side of the nation. So the things we saw on the western coast, people in tent cities and stuff, that's all coming to the middle and east and Texas and all these things. Okay, folks, everything's bigger in Texas. Well, we're about to find out. Okay, but that when the AC comes in, the AC goes out to help bring that hell on earth conditions. And that's where you get that clay and iron empire. Okay? And then Texas is on its own grid for a reason. We saw this in the winter as a test during the Super Bowl times or whatever, when everybody was locked down and during that FedEx crash on the highway in Dallas, that big pileup. Anyway, y'all, it's all coming, folks. So, from Ronald Reagan, he made it where you can't sue the industry. I'm sure Ron DeSantis will make it where you can sue the industry. Okay, so that's where that app run would come in, and that's where the X app comes in. They're dividing up the king and such, so they can't see necessarily, because they're all looking for one person. Okay, that's how Obama was the flaming antichrist, and then you have the Don Rise, and he's another type of one, and then you have the one after that coming. So there's the four beasts that are coming as the antichrist to divide it up. So that's where we're at now, and that fourth beast that divides it up is the Ron, the Satan, and he's coming, and as he's coming, he's going to go against the Christ man, who is the man of sin. The man of sin is the Christ man who can do all things because he's not under the Judeo law. So Robert F.K. or Robert, whatever his name is, RFK Jr., he's that Mercury project. The Mercury ties to the nuclear bombs, the RNA, the ribbon nucleic acid, that silent bomb that went on. But this connects all to these things. So when we can't sue the industry now, but when Ron makes it to where you can sue the industry, this will open it up to where the beasts go on there and they sue, and then they end up taking out themselves. All right, they're going to take out the hospital. It seems to show that something in that hospital, it basically, the trick and treatment that's gone on is basically a deadly head wound. Okay, so as the deadly head wound is taken out, it's going to be healed up, and that beast is going to keep going, because the hospital, that is going to be the bottomless pit where the beasts are going into, and they have to go there for the rest of their lives or whatever kind of thing to get back their brains or built back, or however it's all going to go. Okay, but either way, we see two types of men setting up in our world now. We see the sons of God who have been given the light, the male and female made after he, them. And then we see the sons of man, the beast men, who've been given the mark of the beast, and they're going to flip out when it gets to a certain time, and they're going to choose to go into their own tribulation and these things. Okay, so as the fourth beast is coming up, Elon Musk is going to be playing a role, and then RFK is going to be playing a role, and DeSantis is going to be playing a role, and they're all going to work together to bring things together in a different way as they do a divide at the same time. Okay, so let's go over this real quick. Elon Musk, he did the X logo. He's signifying the X-Men. All right, we got the Avengers, the X-Men, the Justice League in DC. The X-Men, Elon Musk would be that Professor X, sitting on the wheelchair. The wheelchair is with the Gregorian Empire. that's down there in the wheelchair. And then you have he is also Tony Stark of Iron Man, and when he puts on the suit to be covered up, he has Ron DeSantis there. Okay, now Elon Musk, he's at Krypton. He's already said he's an alien and such, and he's at Superman also of the Justice League. So as he's a Superman, that Christopher Reeves, I think his name's Elon Musk Reeves or Elon Reeves Musk or whatever, but he's tying into that character. So he's the Superman, and as that Superman for the Iron Man, and then the suing for the app for the trick and treatment that people got, so they can sue the industry or whatever. But all these things will be lining up, and then so as they're lining up and they're going into their final demise, all right, that's when they're all herded down in their little areas for the Texas and Florida, and that's the little horn or whatever. You got the little horn growing out of DeSantis' head and stuff, and you got the Boca Chica down there in Texas and all those things, folks. Okay, so as the Christians, Ron, Don, and Elon, all right, they're basically the Antichrist figures to round up the beast, okay, to finish off the beast, all right. But Elon is also setting up a new system, all right, and then Tesla is part of the old system also, because that's why Tesla is back there in the old age. Also, Bitcoin's part of that time frame. That's why they're promoting these types of things, because those are the things like the boomers and stuff are into, and all that stuff will be, and it's all a trick and treatment, okay? You don't necessarily want that electric vehicle until after the flip. You don't want to sign up for all these apps till after the flip. You don't want to sign up. You don't want to do all these things till after the flip. You know what I mean? You just need to know that these things are happening. When you see these things happening in the land of Judea, you need to flee to the mountains, okay? So this is when the people need to go to the mountains to be ready for the things coming in 24, 25, because right now you're on that fifth trumpet, and that started on 4-1, and that fifth trumpet lasts 5 months, it says, for the scorpions. And that scorpion is the dragons, and that 5 months ends in September. That September is also lining up with the other dates that we've been tracking too, okay? So September, October, November, December, since last year we've been tracking, that was some crazy stuff that we were tracking, all right? And that's when it's all gonna, the big shebang, all right? This is the Skull and Bones year, and we got an overlap on that 24 right now, so they got to move some things. So like this Christmas, this Thanksgiving, Last Supper, all those things, like, y'all just might as well kiss that goodbye. That's where the Christmas spirit, de Satan, de Santa, the Saint Nick, the Saint Sin, he's coming in, and he's going to save y'all's holiday and shit. So Christmas is basically the birth of Satan. That's why you got Santa and stuff. And then Halloween is basically the birth of Jesus. And then 1025 is actually the 54th month of 425 2019, when Biden started to run for president. So you got all these little things coming together. So it's all right there, folks. If you're in another nation, if you're in Europe, Africa, wherever, all right, you want to be watching America, all right? When the abomination of the dissolution comes to America, when that big event comes to America, that's when you need to decide if you need to go, okay? Otherwise, if you're outside of America, you need to be watching for that big event in America, because that's your time to go, all right? If there is a time to go in another nation. But right now, America is that mystery Babylon where the armies are gathering. We are that Judea Christian nation, the land of Judea, and the armies have already gathered. The armies have already gathered in Israel to get the treatment. Okay, so we'll end it here, folks.